What is up? Welcome to Redacted and Expunged. I am Michael, and with me as usual is Tristan. How you doing, Tristan?
Good, how you doing?
So today we are doing SCP-375 Forever Alone. Get it? Forever Alone, Tristan?
Well, they don't get it because we haven't explained that this SCP is actually a bank. But of course, since it's SCP, it's a weird bank.
Yep.
I'm gonna do the reading today. I've never, I've kind of skimmed this one, so I'm not 100% sure, like, all the details on this one, so we're gonna be learning together today, audience. Alright, so the object class is Euclid. Am I saying that right? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, it's Euclid, yeah. That's like the only like fancy word I know because I've heard it from like other SCP readings.
Okay, cool. Special containment procedures. SCP-375 is to be kept under full surveillance by a security detail of no less than 5 personnel disguised as renovators and contractors. Any subjects attempting to enter SCP-375 are to be turned away with the cover story of indefinite renovations. All instances of SCP-375-1 are to be kept incapacitated within the bank. In the event of an attempted robbery, personnel are to follow procedure to deposit the robbers as outlined in Protocol Document 375-I2-Linnell.
Okay, pause. I gotta throw some red flags on this one.
Okay.
Whoever wrote this one, I love you. But there's two things I can talk about here. We'll talk about the last half first, because one kind of weird. Okay, in the event of an attempted robbery, okay, so let's say the bank's getting robbed, personnel to follow procedure to deposit the robbers. So by deposit, they mean put them in the bank. Oh, kind of spoil it. The SCP is like a bank vault that you put stuff into. So what they do is like, so someone said, "Give me all your money." The SCP shows up like, "Just get in the vault, bro." It's like, oh, it's just, I mean, this kind of doesn't make any like sense. You figure they just like wipe their memory, send them off, or just have the authorities pick them up or whatever. Unless they've seen too much, where you can just wipe their memory, then have the authorities pick them up or whatever. But it just seems weird. Like maybe like I'm not reading that right or something, or it's a weird sentence structure. And then the second thing was like, okay, so they have to act like renovators with indefinite renovations. There's going to be a point where it's going to get shady.
Right, it looks like a mob kind of thing almost.
So I was thinking, there was actually a segment I was thinking about adding. I'm not sure if we mentioned last episode, but like how to improve containment of something.
Oh, yeah.
And with this one, just remodel the place into something else where people won't be going into. Because if you look at the picture here, there's the door, everything's just open right there. I mean, just seal it up. I mean,
yeah, can't they put like a closed sign on the front or something?
Put some bricks over there and like buy the adjoining places and say this is all one big place and or something. Yeah, I assume SCP has all the like infinite money and power within government and all that stuff. So
yeah, I mean the money doesn't seem like it's an object here.
So I think you just buy up like the whole like lot area around it and just remodel like another building on top of the building or something. And so that way they can just keep it more secret. You don't have to worry about bank robbers and throwing them into the vault.
Yeah, and how often is this bank robbed for the fact that they have to like say like this is what we do in an event of a robbery?
When you start reading it, it'll actually make sense why the bank would be robbed quite often.
Oh, okay.
It would make tons of sense. Like, that bank would probably be the most robbed bank in the history of the world.
Okay, yeah, because like it's not the Wild West anymore. We don't see that many bank robberies. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to that kind of thing, I guess, but it seems kind of like a more rare thing.
Or what you do is like try to run it as a normal bank, but just like don't use the bank vault, the magical bank vault that's with it. Just like
okay, just
run it as like a small time bank. I mean, you got the logo. I won't say the company for I don't know reasons. It's a bank and it's located in America, and I believe that's the logo, right?
Say what?
The logo for the bank on the picture.
Oh yeah, Bank of America. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was trying to avoid not saying it.
Oh, whatever.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So we need to get further into this before all the speculation, because like I feel I'm a little confused and I know a little bit about this.
Yeah. Okay, we'll continue. I'm sorry. It was just like just a few things kind of bugged me a little bit about it.
I think we need to cover the rest just because.
Okay. We'll move on.
So description. SCP-375 designates a bank inside a strip mall in Blank, Wyoming. The primary elements of SCP-375 are a large, steel titanium bank vault equipped with multi-stage locking mechanism, signage advertising SCP-375, and any reproductions of SCP-375 related materials. What do you think it means by reproductions of SCP-375 related materials?
Just we're going to keep reading on that. You'll see.
Okay. Subjects who perceive SCP-375 as a place to store valued items are subject to a cognitohazardous effect. When affected by SCP-375, a subject may enter it and make a transaction, depositing items that they consider significantly financial or sentimentally valuable into SCP-375.
Oh, I'm just going to say, I think it's cognitohazard, or at least the cognito part. That's how it's pronounced. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
But don't trust me on that.
That's a word I've never seen before in my entire life.
Yeah, I believe you know what it means, right?
Like cognito is like secret and hazardous is like hazard is.
It's like affects your mind. So usually a lot of cognitive things like affects you to, I guess in SCP, like compulses you to do something.
Right.
Or makes you do something. So it's like something against your will, kind of some kind of
Okay.
mind control or a mental attack. We could probably just look up the definition really easily, but...
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because it seems like it kind of makes them deposit something almost. SCP-375-1 designates 11 humanoid entities who claim to be employees of SCP-375. When a subject enters SCP-375, these entities will provide information about SCP-375 and the banking options it provides. So, just like an average bank, I guess.
Yeah. I always wonder what the entities look like, because they don't say they're just human-looking things. So they're like humanoid shape, but they probably still are not like weird enough looking where they like alarm people when they see them, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe have like a third eye they cover with a hat or something.
I'm kind of thinking like shadow people almost, like just the way it's phrased, like I feel like it's just like a shadow person.
This is one thing I'd love to get the creator of the SCP on and be like, okay, where exactly in Wyoming did you have in mind? And when you had the humanoid entities, did you have in mind of like what they looked exactly like? And
I mean, for all we know, they look exactly like humans. It's just they aren't actually humans.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. That could just be, look exactly like humans, but like DNA tests show that they're, not.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you go into a bank and you see, like, these alien creatures that are kind of humanish. Like, I don't think you're going to stay in that bank for very long.
Yeah, you're just going to turn around and be like, sick cosplay, bro.
Yeah. As discussion continues, the subject will begin discussing subjects that would normally be secretive of, referring to them in the context of banking. If the subject opens an account with SCP-375, instances of SCP-375-1 will coach the subject on ways to properly deposit items they consider to be sentimental into SCP-375, and how to maximize gains by depositing them in certain ways.
So the thing I find, like, secretive of, I'm just assuming this bank is just getting, like, bags of drugs, dead bodies, just like...
It almost makes it sound like you can deposit thoughts, almost like you can discuss something that you're secretive of. Like,
I mean, it'd be more like, hey man, I got 2 pounds of coke buried underneath my house. How could I make some cash off this thing, Mr. Banker Man? That's how I kind of imagine how it is.
Yeah.
Or or just secretive, like, hey, I stole my friend's Xbox or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to deposit it. Yeah, I'm sure criminals will love it because they get rid of evidence. And
it's just the phrasing makes it sound like it's not entirely physical.
It is. It's all physical, I'll say.
Okay.
But like I said, I think it's secretive means just like, stuff you wouldn't, cop up to. Like, hey man, I got a questionable hard drive. It's like, oh, I deposit, something just.
Or like you're having a secret affair, so you deposit the mistress.
I mean, that's one thing you could.
I feel like that's a thing you could do.
So they teach them how to maximize gains. Also, they consider to be sentimental. So it could just be stuff like, to me, it could be some like just old worthless magic cards I had that I played with when I was a kid.
Yeah, or like family heirlooms or.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a double whammy with it where it's expensive and sentimental. But...
Yeah, I mean, family heirlooms don't have to be expensive.
No.
Like, can you collect interest on like an item that's only got sentimental value?
I don't know, but it does talk about interest though. And also, I'll kind of say, I think they want you to deposit stuff. So of course, they'll try to figure out the best way that you'll make profit off it, so they have an incentive to deposit stuff with them. I think these guys are pretty clever bankers. If it wasn't anything, I just imagine like 11 of the goblins from Harry Potter. But, probably.
Yeah, those are humanoid. Maybe it's the Harry Potter goblins.
Maybe if they stand on a box and only show their head and they just act like they're old, and then people think, oh, there's a bunch of old people work here.
Right.
And,
yeah, that makes more sense. I feel like that's in my head. That's what's going on.
Until like it's too late, and then hey, step into my office. He jumps off his boxes, and they'll think, oh, they're just little people, and then like nothing much to it.
And then you see that their skin is kind of green.
It's like, oh, it's fine. It's probably some condition they have.
Yeah, it's just leprosy.
Everything is fine.
All right. After an item is deposited within SCP-375, the subject will be given an item of equivalent value to them. Usually this will take form of cash or credit. Other valuable objects have been observed on rare occasions, consisting of objects known and not known to have been placed in SCP-375. Objects included a deed to a property from around the mall SCP-375 is located in, brass piping, a winning lottery ticket circa 1997, a bucket containing a gallon of crude oil, the remains of an adult male subject dressed in clothing circa 1935. What the hell?
I'm in. Sign me up.
How much? Okay, so I have to ask, what's the value of the remains of an adult body?
I don't know, dude. Find out. Just start putting like $1 worth of something, $2 worth of something, and then hopefully the day you get remains of an adult male subject dressed in clothing circa 1935.
Okay, that's a little weird. Approximately 5,000 coins believed to have been created by SCP-1015.
So I just did a quick research on that one. It's a cursed penny. If you pick it up, you can't get rid of it. The only way you can get rid of it is like if you die or someone steals it from you. But you're cursed with the ability, the Midas touch curse. It's that, but whatever you touch turns into pennies.
Are they cursed too?
No, they're just normal pennies, I believe.
Okay.
I just skimmed through it really quick just so I could see what it is, so I can just give a quick explanation of what the coins are. So there's nothing special about the coins. There's like 1974 pennies and stuff. So that's it about it.
Okay. Wedding bands and various film and Polaroid photographs. No digital photographs have been taken from SCP-375.
That'd be kind of, I guess that's the sentimental value, you think. Like if you, let's say you put in like, something sentimental, you might get some film or Polaroid photos because to someone that's, sentimental to them.
Are these items coming from other people who put in sentimental items?
Kinda, but it's, it's kind of randomy. But like I say, usually they give you cash or credit. But you get those weird anomalies where you're getting like 5,000 pennies and old lotto tickets and stuff. But yeah, it's funny to see because if you get something completely different, I just imagine like, some drug lord has like, okay, I got $4 million worth of, cocaine I have to hide. I'll hide it in this bank because they're down with it for some reason.
Yeah.
And then I'll let it, they said I'll get interest off it somehow. So hey, maybe that'll work. Plus he's got the whole cognito hazard working against him, So he'll say he deposits it, 4 mil of coke in there. He comes back like a year later, like, all right, coast is clear, feds are off my back. I'm gonna go get that 4 mil coke plus with interest. I just imagine he comes up in the humanoid bank teller.
The goblin.
Yeah, we'll say a goblin. Yeah, it's a goblin now. But the goblin says, "Oh, Mr. Crime Lord, Mr. Kingpin, oh, you're back. You've paid so much interest on your coke. Here it is. Here's $6 million worth of coupons to an Italian supermarket." Something like that. Just like. And of course,
here's a dead body.
Yeah, it's like from 1936.
Right? Like okay, so you dumped all the drugs, but now you have a dead body you have to deal with. Like you went from one like messed up thing to another messed up thing.
It's worth $4 million to someone. That's why I kind of see how that is. Like also on a sentimental level, like because if you think about like really like you can put a price on sentimental stuff. It's like even if something's worth a penny and they'll say I'll give you $1. You'll still say no, but there's a point where you would say yes. It's like. Or, like, you'd pay money to have, like, a clone of your animal pet back or something,
Right, yeah, kind of the Pet Cemetery thing. Okay, so here's a question. The mystery of Jimmy Hoffa? Yes. They never could find him. When was that?
Good question.
Because I have... Oh, no, he disappeared in 1975. Okay, never mind. Because I was going to say, like maybe that's what that is. Like, maybe we finally we solved the Jimmy Hoffa riddle.
But when did that bank company start also, huh?
Oh, there you go. I thought I was onto something, but I guess it was nothing. Now I feel dumb. The entire internet can see how dumb I am.
Dude, I think that'll be the charm of the show is just
how dumb we look.
Just like apparently neither of us could read, and stuff. But granted, you had that hard sentence. I'll give you that.
I'm gonna edit out like my jumbled reading.
It's staying in on the video version.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's raw baby. All right, so ready to move on?
Yep. Subjects may bring knowledge of SCP-375's existence to other family members and friends who will become a subject to SCP-375's effect. So just telling people about it gives them the effect.
Yeah, it gives them that cognito hazard.
Yeah, the hazard thing. The word I will not say again.
So that's really dangerous. I mean, it's like a disease, a brain disease.
That's like stuff, it kind of reminds me of The Ring, except almost more insidious. Because The Ring, you watch the video and now you're screwed. But this, you just hear about it and you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, at least you're not going to get, eaten by some demon baby or something.
Well, moving on, as more subjects open accounts with 375, the SCP-375-1 instances may encourage them to deposit other family members and friends into SCP-375.
So where the value's at.
And offer investment opportunities with SCP-375 based on these deposits. How much money are my friends worth?
Exactly. I mean... But are they worth more alive or dead? Because I want that 1935 body. So.
Yeah, you're not going to get that 1935 body if you deposit your family alive. Yeah, the value isn't the same.
But here's the thing: if I value the 1935 corpse more and more, can I eventually throw just a high dollar thing in and I know I'll get the corpse or something? Because there's a point where I'm like, dude, I'll just pay money for the damn
now
thing or something.
The cognito hazard that's got me is I really want this corpse.
I know that's. I know we're going to be locked up to SCP, and then we're going to be the next, SCP entry.
See, we're gonna invest each other into this vault and just kind of screw each other over. Nobody's gonna get the body because we're gonna be in the bank.
But yeah, it's pretty deadly when you get spreading, especially when to the point where you start throwing in your loved ones.
Right,
and all that.
That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, and I mean it spreads stuff like that. If just knowing of it spreads, if you think about it, it can affect the whole world because it's kind of like a 7 degrees of bacon or whatever that thing is.
I think it's 5 degrees of bacon or something like that.
Yeah, but something like that. Technically everyone speaks to everyone, so...
Yeah, and I imagine, it's a Wyoming town, and there's a lot of small towns in Wyoming, so, everybody talks to everybody,
But I wonder if it's, you have to physically talk to them, or it could be over a phone. phone?
Or like, could I text you about this bank and like the cognito hazard will get to you? Like, how does that work?
That's true, because I think it just says subject may bring knowledge of 375's existence to other family members or friends who become subject.
Yeah, it doesn't say you have to say it. It just says bring knowledge.
Yeah, so I could just like text you. Or...
So even just reading this, like we've just infected anybody who's listening to this podcast right now.
Oh no.
We all have to go to Wyoming.
God, hey Tristan, what are you doing? I want to show you this bank. And that's the crazy thing. Like people are trying to deposit into it. I just imagine like people are knocking each other out, you know,
right.
Or I mean, you want to get really grim, you know, they're just straight up killing them. They just want to deposit that body in there, you know.
But
I imagine I imagine it'd be like a live, but it'd be like just like, hey Tristan, you know, come on over, let's go to the bank, you know, or I gotta do is put a deposit at this bank.
Oh,
come on over.
Yeah,
and then
you're the deposit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey man, I'm just gonna deposit you, dude. I'll get you back. We'll have some money afterwards. We'll get
and we're gonna have a dead body.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we have a dead body also on top of it, so we'll go party afterwards. The weekend at Bernie's it,
right?
You know?
When it was recovered, it is estimated that over 30% of blank town residents had been placed with an SCP-375. 30%!
So I don't know if it's the same town. I'm assuming it's the same town it's located in.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
It's only one bank. It's not like it's multiple.
I'm gonna do the math on that.
Like even if it's like a town of 1,000 people, that's 300 people that got chucked in there. We look at like average.
Yeah. Okay. So
size.
Just using like in the town I live in, I think there's like 45,000 people.
Yeah,
so that's
we're around there.
13,000 people.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's an insane number.
That'll come into effect later on. That whole 30% of a town. Later on in certain segments, I'll bring that back up. But yeah, it's crazy. Well, it's also crazy they got away with it for that long before SCP picked up. You know, SCP dropped the ball on this, man.
This makes me wonder if it's like a Doctor Who thing where like the vault is just like enormously big, but on the outside it looks like the regular bank vault.
I get that illusion. Yeah, you got a TARDIS thing going on, or like as soon as you put something in and close
13,000 people in there.
Imagine it's like you put something in, you close it, and then someone wants to withdraw something, you open it, and then what they want, the withdrawal is there. You know, so it's kind of like a one-time. You know, by default it's blank. I guess it's empty in a weird way. Maybe it's like like of course some kind of pocket dimension.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, it's like a TARDIS thing, I guess you could say.
Once a subject has been exchanged, they will be stored in SCP-375's vault. If they are withdrawn, they may have portions of their body replaced by pieces belonging to other subjects. This is referred to by the SCP-375 employees as compound interest. Occasionally, the subject will be replaced by a completely different one of a similar appearance, usually when the subject has waited more than 4 years to withdraw them. Oh my god!
So I always imagine the compound interest would be like, you know, you threw me in there and like come out later, I'm like 8 feet tall. You know, it's like, oh, it's just his compound interest. He's bigger now. There's more of Mike, you know, and stuff. So it's like,
that's so weird.
But also, yeah, also the thing I think about the whole parts being replaced is like an analogy with like money, because you know you just throw like your $20 bills in the bank and that just gets spread around. You don't know who the next person's gonna get those 20s.
Yeah, and you're not gonna get the same $20 back when you withdraw.
Exactly, but maybe into his humanoid's brains, like, well, they still have 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. You know, it's still a male.
They
or
look
whatever.
similar enough.
Yeah, it's like it's the same thing, right? You know, even those kids got a man's arm, you know, or something.
Oh my god, this is getting wacky.
So, and also it's the thing: are they still the same person, or are they effectively someone different? Because they look completely different. It's like, do the brain
says they'll be replaced by a completely different one of similar appearance. Like that.
Oh, so it looks the same.
It could come out with like another dude that just looks like you.
Oh, okay, so I'll just come out with like blonde hair, but it'll be someone completely different.
Well, it's got to be like similar appearance. So like I imagine it'll like still be a guy that looks like you. You know,
just with blonde hair.
It won't be you.
No. Okay, that is weird.
SCP-375 came to the Foundation's attention after local economic fluctuations caused by SCP-375's effect were noted by personnel embedded in the United States Treasury. So SCP has people in the United States Treasury.
Yeah, from my understanding from lore, they have they're everywhere, like in almost all the governments, every branch.
It's interesting that they would think like, okay, well, we got to have people in the Treasury. Like, how often are like money related SCPs happening?
It's like, remember that scene in The Simpsons where like all those people are sitting in the computers like monitoring everything?
Yeah,
that's kind of how I imagine like the SCP is in a way.
Okay, I mean, I figure that's just how our government is. They're listening to us right now.
Hey, give a thumbs up, like, share it. Yeah.
Right, our first fans are FBI agents.
SCP agents or...
Agents were dispatched to investigate and confirmed 375's anomalous properties. Interviews with subjects within the town revealed that SCP-375 was the town's most prominent local bank, used almost universally. Documentation within the mall's financial records show no records of rent payment or ownership of the specified lot. Examination of the surrounding structure suggests that the mall had been built around SCP-375 itself. As of blank date, SCP-375 has been classified as Euclid. Oh, here, let me read the Euclid thing from the website.
Okay, cool.
Just in case anybody doesn't know what Euclid is, you know?
Yeah, and I still say we should do like lore, like rundown of like everything.
Like
the lore and
SCP
stuff.
for beginners or something.
Yeah, it'd also be good for us.
Yeah, it's stuff I want to cover just so I know it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, Euclid-class SCPs are anomalies that require more resources to contain completely or where containment isn't always reliable. Usually this is because the SCP is insufficiently understood or inherently unpredictable. Euclid is the object class with the greatest scope, and it's usually a safe bet that an SCP will be this class if it doesn't easily fall into any of the other standard object classes. As a note, any SCP that's autonomous, sentient, or sapient is generally classified as Euclid due to the inherent unpredictability of an object that can act or think on its own. Okay, so it's like, it could be like super dangerous or it could be safe, but there's no real predicting it.
Yeah, but it is a danger to you. Like, it could affect you. Even if you're just sitting there doing nothing, it can, hurt you.
So this is interesting because it says the surrounding structures suggest that the mall had been built around 375 itself. So, like, how long has it been there? And, like...
That's true, like...
was it always a bank?
But, yeah, it could be built, like, in the 1800s or something.
Like, I'm wondering if it was something else before it was, like, a bank.
Would say there was no blueprints of the surrounding area or something like that. But, yeah, I mean, it could be around since, like, 1800s. It could just been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And just kind of, they modernized themselves somehow. I mean, we don't know what the capability of these humanoid creatures are.
Yeah. But, so, earlier it mentions Protocol Document 375-I2-Linel.
Yeah.
Where can I find that? Because I don't see this on this page.
I checked there. It's just something I think they're just throwing in. I'll go back to that, actually, that you mentioned it. So now you kind of understand why people would be robbing this bank, maybe.
Yeah, because they want that sweet dead body.
Well, besides that, but I mean, like, if you deposited my brother, I think I'd be pretty angry. Like, if I learned my brother's in that bank, I want to get him back. I'm probably going to be running there guns a-blazing,
right.
To get my brother back, but...
Oh, speaking of robbery, Incident 375-A. On blank date, a group of 5 armed men attempted a robbery of SCP-375's containment area. Containment personnel responded with complacence to the wishes of the aggressors and led the group to the vault. SCP-375 produced 1 human child. The group expressed panic and fled the scene with the child. Analysis of the video footage shows that the child did not resemble any known to have entered SCP-375 prior to the initial containment, and appeared to be wearing garb worn prior to the construction of the city SCP-375 is located in. Additional research into SCP-375's history is pending. So that kind of, I feel like, adds merit to my idea that, like, this was around before the town was even there.
It also mentions, like, video footage. Like, analysis of the video footage shows that the child did not resemble anyone that entered. So it could be just before the video stuff popped in. So in my head, I imagine it's, like, Native American tribe one. They're like, I don't know, someone of importance. It could be like the chosen one or something, or just someone, like the chief's child, or so, just someone of importance, or just any child, or it could be like I imagine like a cult wants their, like, promised messiah, and they come in and they freak out because it's like, okay, it's not the same person, but he's still wearing the same clothes. Let's just take him and go. But we know now it's going to suck for them because it's not the same person.
And it's interesting that, like, the bank was like, okay, well, they're robbing us. Let's give them a human child.
Yeah,
like,
I mean...
I want to know the thought process behind that, because that's a little
I'm sure
bizarre.
someone else from, the town or whatever deposited the child or something. It could have been close to them also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, knowing these bankers, they probably would let kids just deposit stuff also. I still see limits with these guys that are, they're getting corpses back. If I put in my, bar of gold and I get a corpse back, I'm just like, I'm figuring, okay, anything can go.
Okay, in the containment procedures, it says that personnel are to follow procedure to deposit the robbers. It's just interesting to me because I feel like that's, like, some really good research opportunities to, like, see what happens when it gets robbed. Yeah. If I was a researcher, I would want to see it get robbed to see, like, what the robbers get.
That's a good point. You see how the humanoids react to the situation or whatever. And if you can rob the bank and get your stuff back, then you can just rob the bank and get your people back,
Yeah, like, I want to know how the bankers decide what to give you.
But I just do love the randomization of it sometimes. You'll get get cash or credit usually, but you might get some...
Or a brass pipe.
that juicy 1935 corpse,
I kind of love this one because there's like a lot of room for speculation here.
And I do like it's like I kind of do like there's no like research logs or anything like that because it just seems so random. Doesn't really make sense. Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of
it makes me think like the SCP Foundation hasn't really bothered to do a lot of research on here when like there's room to learn about what's going on here.
I mean, I'd find ways to abuse it to maybe make like I mean, if it can give you random stuff, if we figure try of course crack the code of it, so you can kind of control the system, but like.
There's got to be some sort of pattern or something that
but, if
follow.
I could throw in like a bag of pennies and it comes back as like I get a bag of gold, that's pretty cool.
I mean, I feel like you'd have to put in a lot of pennies to get like any amount.
You
of
never
gold,
know. They could be cherished pennies, or they could be valuable pennies, like collector pennies.
Yeah, it depends on how much sentimental value you have on them.
It was the last thing my wife gave me before she died. Kind of.
So so the guy who got the brass piping, like I want to know what he gave in because like brass piping can't be worth that much, right? Like you can go to Home Depot and buy brass piping for a general amount of money.
Yeah, it's not that much. I mean, people do rip it out of buildings, but that's usually like people are desperate. But who knows how much brass piping he got though? But if he got like a bunch, he could go sell that to a construction site or something, make a pretty penny maybe.
One vague thing that it has, and I guess we're kind of on like the fill in the gaps section here, is
I guess we'll move on to creation to containment.
The various film and Polaroid photographs. I want to know what was on the pictures.
I bet it's just like family photos, stuff like that.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, of course, I'm sure SCP tried to record inside the vault, but of course, conveniently, it never works in SCP land. But
was that what they said? Because it says no digital photographs have been taken from SCP-375. I took that to mean that like when they pulled out a deposit, they never got like a digital photograph.
I mean, digital photographs, digital. You mean like a flash drive or something, or
like you can print out like digital
that's
photographs because like back when digital cameras were really big, they made printers just for
That's a good point.
Digital photographs.
So yes, you cracked the code, Tristan. Good point, actually.
So like they talk about like in the section with the robbery, they talk about like video footage.
Yeah.
So obviously there's cameras in there. I assume the cameras were put in at the SCP Foundation.
Or they're just tapping in maybe to the already pre-existing, because assume a bank would have cameras regardless,
Right.
But I'm sure, once SCP came in, they rigged their own cameras in.
Yeah,
all that stuff. But
because this is one like I wish there was more information because like there's a lot of gaps that are like really intriguing to me.
This is kind of how I see it. I see like these guys are really like aliens. I know you said we're not try to be we're going to try not to use that word. But like literally
we're gonna end up on the History Channel.
like literally like from another planet, but what they do is they figure out how to like manipulate pocket dimensions. And so they have these banks maybe on like other planets or something, or maybe just local. Because I was saying with the people, their body parts, kind of get changed around and stuff. So I was thinking if there's already a bank of 30% of a town in there, you'd be getting part from one of that 30%. Or I've wondered if like if there's only like two people who ever put in there, would they just those two people be switching parts or whatever? Unless the whole randomization thing kicks in, unless people were putting in a bucket containing a gallon of crude oil. But I just imagine like this weird way that they make this, and they make money off like the interest also somehow. It's like maybe some way they figure out how to crack the code. So like at the end of the day, they're always getting like just buckets full of gold, uranium, stuff they could just sell for mass money.
And I imagine like you can't withdraw something that hasn't been deposited by somebody.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Like somebody deposited the brass piping, somebody deposited the winning lottery ticket,
yeah.
I feel like that I don't think it could really create something. Like it has to give you something that was given to it.
I mean, I can kind of see like how this stuff, situations where people would be depositing. The lottery ticket's kind of weird. Like I make like for hiding evidence, I can see that the good old 1935 corpse.
Yeah,
maybe like brass.
With
piping.
a lottery ticket, like there's a lot of stigma I feel like around like winning a lottery ticket because you win a lottery ticket and suddenly you've got long lost family knocking at your door. And for some people, I feel like they like the idea of winning, but then if they actually win, they'd be like, oh well, crap, like this is kind of too much.
That's
so
true.
They would just kind of put it in there. Maybe they'd put it in there and be like, okay, I'll come and get it later to get the winnings. I just don't want to deal with it right now.
Well, sure. Maybe see it, someone has like just has like more like a safety deposit box kind of.
Though
thing,
it's not. It doesn't seem like a good idea to me because I feel like if you don't turn it in within like a month or something like that, you can't get the money. Like you don't get the winnings after that.
Yeah. Well, and also with the bank, it might just randomize it into something else. Like technically, the lottery ticket's only worth 1/millionth of a cent because on a piece of paper. So here's your check for 1/millionth of a cent. Something like.
Or I mean, it doesn't say how big the winning lottery ticket is. I mean, you could win a lottery ticket that's worth like $5.
That's true.
So maybe they deposited it hoping that they would get like the cash for it. Like they're thinking, okay, well I won $20 off this scratcher.
Yeah.
Maybe if I turn it in, it'll give me $20. Just to see what happens. It could have just been like somebody. Or okay, also like. the cognito hazard, right? Like,
Yeah.
it compels you to turn stuff in. So they won a lottery ticket, but they're compelled so strongly where they decide like, okay, well, I have to take this to the bank.
That's right. Imagine some guy just won the lottery, he's got to run, to get it cashed or whatever you gotta do, the procedure. I don't know what it is, but like, yeah, he runs by the magical bank there, or 375, and is like,
yeah,
ooh, and he looks at his ticket.
right. We're thinking about this too logically, really.
Yeah. And then he runs in the bank, like, oh, cool, I got this ticket I want to deposit, and
yeah,
it's a winner.
There doesn't have to be logic in this. Like when you're under the spell of the cognito hazard, like you're not really thinking that deep. You're just thinking, I need to deposit something in this bank.
I mean, the guy could have won out. Maybe he did get like $14 million of Italian grocery store coupons or something. But that's a dream.
Maybe he's the one that got the dead body.
A lucky jerk. But yeah, I was like, when these things got started, I mean, I could imagine something being started like in the 1800s, just some bank just plopped right there, and then...
Yeah, and I mean, it could be like demonic, maybe, like, it's almost like what is that, Faust? Like Mephistopheles, where like you make a deal with the devil kind of thing? Like, it could be like satanic almost.
That's a good take on it. I never really thought about it. I was just thinking like more interdimensional kind of stuff.
Just because I'm desperate for this not to be aliens.
This one I do see, because they're working with like the physical stuff or whatever. If they're dealing with souls, I would be on train with the demon, stuff or whatever.
I mean, who knows? Maybe nobody's ever tried to turn in their soul.
But here's the thing, though. They compels you to give them people, your family and friends. Maybe like there's some other, my example, another planet needs like, hey, we need some workforce here. The bank's like, I got you, man. Just deposit in some, whatever it is that they find valuable. We'll deposit you out some, humans work here. I don't know, space mines.
Yeah, but then like they're trying to get like slaves, but then they keep getting brass piping and old lottery tickets.
I don't know. Maybe the humanoid people can rig stuff around, Yeah,
I don't know. Like this is kind of one of those rare ones where I feel like the origins...
in a way, they kind of did control it. It seemed like with the incident article, it's like they're like, we want our child, so they open the vault and there's a child. It's not the same child or whatever, but
yeah,
I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, because it could have been like a family that deposited a child and like they realized what they did, so they want to go back and get the child.
Yeah.
See, if it was me, if I was like the SCP Foundation, I would encourage bank robberies because I want to see what happens when people rob the bank.
Just give some D classes some guns and say, hey, run in there and try to rob the bank.
like, hey, you went to jail for robbing a bank and you shot the teller, so now you're here forever. So like, we're gonna have you rob another bank.
Yeah, just lie to them, say you can keep whatever's in there, and
like you can keep that child that you get. Like, enjoy this creepy child from 1875.
Dude, that'd be the worst thing ever. You bust into a bank, you get into the vault, and it's just some creepy child from 1875. It's like, oh, come on, man. At least tell me you could do something cool. Just juggle or something. I don't know. But yeah, then with the containment, they kind of just took over. But the thing is, now what are they doing with these 11 humanoid things? Are they like in jail? Do they keep them in the bank? Are they in a site somewhere on SCP?
Well, it sounds like they haven't really contained it at all. It sounds like they just let it run as its own.
But I think it's closed, but they just lie and say the whole renovation thing, like, oh, it's black mold, it's crazy here.
I feel like the renovation, it's just like their way of keeping an eye on it, because it says it's kept under full surveillance. It doesn't say they've closed it. It doesn't say like they've stopped it from happening.
Yeah, it says was cover a story of indefinite renovations. So it's like it's gonna be hard to pull.
Yeah, it says kept under full surveillance by security detail. So it's not contained at all.
It's just gonna get fishy, like some reporter knows, like, hey man, this bank's been closed forever. These guys keep wandering around and fishy. Plus, if the redacted thing on the picture is the thing that gives you a cognito hazard, I'm assuming SCP probably removed it immediately.
Are you talking about the black bar in the picture?
Yeah, in the picture.
I think that's just covering up the name of the bank.
That's true, probably for copyright reasons.
Right.
Well, it'd probably help if they did the logo.
Yeah. So yeah, this doesn't seem like it's closed down at all. Like, they just let it be open, which kind of...
Or maybe they lied to the humanoids, tell them it's open, so they don't freak out or whatever, because they're not sure what they're capable of.
It's just, it doeses't say anything about that. So like, I feel like they just kind of let it run as it is, and like, they just keep an eye on it.
They see SCP, like 11 SCP, or let's call them 375, I'll call them the humanoids.
The goblins.
I just imagine them all like, man, we haven't got a customer in like 3 years, and SCP just got the door boarded up.
Or maybe it's something that like needs to be fed. Like you're almost making a sacrifice to it, kind of like an old god kind of situation. That's why it wants valuable things. Like, it almost eats the sentimentality off of it. I don't know, like...
That'd be interesting. Something that eats sentimentalness. Oh, that'd be an interesting thing for a movie. Like, if a creature like attacks you, or I don't know, like, it have to link you to someone. So let's say like attacked me and attacked you. Like, I wouldn't have like a sense of like friendship with you, or like I'd have like a sense of like, who I know you're Tristan, but it's like I don't have that friendship, sense. It's just like,
yeah. I'm just like a dude now.
All right. Well, I guess we're starting to talk about. You want to just jump in? Well, I guess the next before that, I guess, is interactions with other SCPs.
See, this one, I don't know. I don't feel like there's really any interesting interactions with other SCPs.
I imagine we're talking about the 906. I imagine if you threw in 906, you'd either get like whatever the cash value of like a bunch of earthworms would be, or you get the whole like 5,000 coins believed to be created by SCP-1015 kind of scenario. You know,
Or do you think 906 would try to eat the humanoids?
I mean, of course, it's not going to cooperate the whole time, I figure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I figure try to eat the humanoids, but yeah, could it dissolve the bank vault if you throw it in? Does it?
But if the humanoids aren't human, it might not want to try to eat them.
That's true, but
Because it seems like it wants to eat humans more than anything else, right?
But in the previous, I think it still ate the cow and the pig. And all
yeah,
that
it did, but like, there's nothing really saying that these humanoids are meat. Like they might not be edible.
906 might just be curious. It's like, man, I'm getting a hankering for some new flavors.
Yeah, for all we know, it might not even give a shit. Like,
I don't know, because it's so randomized at which you'll get back, or like, I guess a way we could, if we ever revisit it, we could do a funny thing and talk about SCPs, like, what would be the cash or credit value of that SCP? It's like, how much would a ghost be worth?
Well, okay, if we're thinking of 906 as just worms, I mean, you might get like fish bait back.
Yeah, you
or
might
something.
just get normal worms, gummy worms. But yeah, if you leave it in for over 4 years, you're for sure gonna get some kind of worm back. Who knows? Oh no, it could turn into tapeworms though, or there's some other bad worms out there you don't want. Or like it's gonna do a super twist like worm from like D&D, like WYRM. So
oh yeah, like a dragon.
yeah, you get like 500 dragon snake things, and that's no bueno. That gives the SCP a lot more work to deal with.
Right. I don't know, because I feel like there's too much speculation for really there to be any actual like good interactions. Like, because I mean, let's say you could wrangle 682 and turn him into the bank. Like, we can't really say what we would get for that, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the value of a 682 would be. I mean, who knows? He could be. I guess he can be extremely valuable, of course, but to someone else, it could just be a stupid 1935 corpse, not a cool one. I always figure with 682, like his powers, like he always wins. I always imagine he always just wins. Like they try to lock him up, it just doesn't work. He just breaks out of the vault and then just walks off.
Or like if you took 173, the moving statue guy.
Yeah.
It would maybe get like a weeping angel from Doctor Who back. Like, I don't know. So this one's kind of hard for interactions because like it's so vague.
Yeah.
Like there's no fighting involved. Like it doesn't say anything about like when it sounds like when somebody comes and they're hostile, like the humanoids kind of just they're willing to work with you. Like they're not gonna fight back.
No. Yeah, I think the funny thing was like we look at other SCPs and just try to figure out the cash or credit value of them. Like how much would you give me for this? Yeah.
Try to haggle for SCPs. So how would you make this into a movie?
I think it would be like more like a supernatural drama, because there's nothing like scary or slasher or anything, but like
right.
I always thought it would be like start a family, young mother and father, and they have like a kid, maybe a baby to like I don't know 6 years old or something, somewhere around there, a small child,
right? And
maybe one scenario the baby's terminally ill and they learn about the bank's abilities. It's like, okay, maybe if we could turn him in, he might change enough where he's not sick anymore or something. So they do it, and maybe it works. They have to get the baby back, and it's not changed, but like, whatever, it's baby cancer is gone or whatever.
Right.
But, then the like cognito hazard kind of kicks in more, so they figure, let's start putting other people in. And I guess that's where it kind of starts turning into like more of a horror, when people are trying to get other people into the vault. Or I'm thinking of that scenario where it's like, SCP wouldn't be involved, but say the cops learned about this supernatural bank and they're trying to get all the people out and they're trying to organize everyone. But it's a story could be like one kid could have been there for too long, for 4 years. So you got the scenario where it looks like the kid, but he's somebody completely different. And the parents still take him in, of course. And so they got to now deal with this kid that's like a completely different person.
Almost like a changeling kind of situation.
Yeah, it'd be more like a drama-esque kind of thing, or like dealing with this person that's not really your kid anymore and trying to kind of force yourself to love someone that, is kind of...
Right. That's kind of like I think it was Angelina Jolie was in that movie called The Changeling.
Changeling? I never heard of it.
Or like her kid like runs away or something, and then they find the kid, but it's a different kid.
Oh.
So she spends like the whole movie like trying to find her kid.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a really depressing movie, honestly.
Okay, it sounds interesting.
It's a good movie. It's just like it's kind of sad because there's no resolution to it.
Oh.
She never finds her kid.
Yeah. She just ends up raising the rando kid.
Something like that. It's been like 10 years since I've seen the movie, so I don't remember exactly. I just remember like she gets a kid that's not her kid.
But yeah, it'd be something like that, or I mean, if you want to go more horror, where it's like someone that's like greedily just trying to throw people in for money, or something. Or...
That'd be kind of cool.
But I guess it'd be people you love. So I guess it'd be like, but yeah, what happens if someone like runs out of their families? I guess you'd go to like your friends.
I could see it being like somebody like obsessively turning stuff into this bank.
Interesting. But the thing I was talking about was like two people fighting at the same time. They both go in the bank at the same time, and then you could have like a Freaky Friday kind of thing, or they come out of the vault, but they're like two different people, or like maybe like spirit swapped but same bodies kind of thing.
Right.
Because they went in at the same time. Maybe only they can switch stuff with themselves because it's some weird thing. Because you're only supposed to put one in technically. Or,
kind of like a Fly situation.
Yeah, kind of like that.
You can get into some like weird body horror with this.
Yeah, that's true. Also, yeah, some guy walks out like no limbs, but you got 4 legs and 4 arms now. It's like, sorry,
right.
bro. Yeah, but I'll carry you. Okay.
I feel like this could get weirdly Lovecraftian in a way. I'm just not entirely sure how we get in that direction.
It could, like with the compound interest thing, where I was like saying like someone, it could be more like a body horror thing, but some...
Yeah, which I mean, that's kind of like a little bit in like Lovecraft's wheelhouse.
But you never know, someone might walk out with like a tentacle arm, or like someone deposited a different SCP maybe, like
I'm just thinking like maybe somebody's trying to figure out where the bank comes from. Like there's got to be some people that are immune to the cognito hazard. Maybe there's one guy in the town is like, immune, so he decides to like try to figure out what this bank is, and it turns out to be some sort of old god kind of thing,
Or the old god, it's just like his collection kind of thing. Like, ooh, look at all these cool things I got from these humanoid things. Like I got these like coins and these brass pipings. Just to him, it's little trinkets and toys and stuff. And same with people. Like, hey, look at all these little like to him it might be sea monkeys or something.
Yeah. Or there could be like a they live kind of situation where like everybody else just sees it as a bank, but he goes in there and like the tellers are all like monstrous and like the walls are all like organic kind of, it's like a walking into a monster's mouth kind of thing. So this one's kind of interesting because I feel like there's a lot of different directions that you can go with for making like a movie or TV show about it that doesn't necessarily have to be horror.
Yeah.
Like obviously my inclination is to take it to horror, but you could just make it like a heist movie that's weird,
I mean, it does get the horror point when, like I said, you're throwing your family and friends in there, and the scary thing is spread. So,
yeah,
someone just talks to you, texts you, or if you just look at the bank, you can get under its effect.
In a way, it makes me think of like pod people, kinda.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, kinda. Everyone's kind of, it's kind of what a cognito hazard kind of could be. Yeah, it's like everyone's under an effect of something. Some people might not be like strong-willed people, or just something weird.
Right.
They had to eat extra garlic.
So surviving.
I mean, the most dangerous thing is that cognito hazard.
Yeah. I'd say just stay out of Wyoming,
I guess, or just don't look at that bank, or stay out of that town area. I mean, yeah, the farther away you are from it, the safer you probably are. But I mean,
yeah.
I mean, your buddy from Wyoming can just call you and say, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And then you're like, "Man, I feel like visiting you."
Right.
And then and then before you know it, you're trying to deposit each other in a bank.
Yeah. I mean, really, the best way is just to not go to Wyoming.
Yeah.
Except if with the cognito hazard, like we've spread this to anybody who listens. So, oops.
I think we'll have a feeling we'll be doing that a lot.
Right.
Or maybe we're so dumb we can't spread it. It's like the Homer Simpson and zombies. Like zombies will eat Homer's brain.
Oh yeah, because he's too dumb.
Yeah, maybe we're just we can't read right or anything. So it's just like whatever. I mean, they never really mentioned about the 11 humanoids. I mean, these things could maybe be like super strong, super smart, magical abilities, and stuff. But
I'm imagining, like, let's say this thing is. Let's pretend it's like an organic being, like let's pretend it has a mind.
Okay.
If so, then those 11 beings I feel like are part of that mind almost, like they're extensions of the being itself.
It's an interesting take.
I wouldn't say it's like sentient or sapient or anything, but I feel like
the bank is controlling him somehow.
Like there's something underlying there, and it's all one thing. Like the bank and the tellers are all technically one thing. Yeah. I feel like. I don't know. And it doesn't make them sound aggressive at all, so I feel like technically they're not a threat.
Yeah. If they're superpowered, when the guys robbed them, they would just, if they could overpower them, they would have probably.
Yeah, but they just let them get away with it.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want a bad Yelp score, so it's like, just let them have the kid. It's not the right kid. We don't have the right kid. Just let them have him. And just...
I feel like overall it's not that dangerous. It's just it can be dangerous if you're stupid with it.
Yeah, I mean the spreading thing is the main danger of it, because I think it makes it sound like once it hits a certain amount of people, that's when people are starting to chuck in their family and friends and all that stuff. Like 1 or 2 people doing it. If it was just us, we'd be throwing in our lotto tickets and our brass pipings and corpses. But yeah, other than that...
Yeah, so overall, I wouldn't really rank it as that dangerous.
Yeah, it's not really that dangerous. So you guys we'll move into rankings then?
Yeah. What were the rankings?
Rankings is it's a containment, danger, and suckiness, like the work with it.
So the containment, I mean, like, it's not contained at all.
I don't know. I'd say like really low.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 1 or 2 as far as containment goes, because it's not contained at all.
Yeah, I'll say 2, because you have to still deal with the humanoid entities. We don't know what they're really capable of. They sound like there's normal bank tellers, but you don't know. The whole that's why it's Euclid probably also, because it has thinking creatures with it. So we'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, just because it's not really that contained. They're just kind of keeping an eye on it.
Okay, so for danger, this is one of those things where it could be kind of variable. I mean, if you're not doing, you're not throwing in your friends and family, it's not that dangerous. It's, it could be fun.
But the cognito hazard makes it dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're having fun with it, yeah, it's still a cognito hazard that's forcing you to do this or compelling you or
Right.
however.
I'd say I'd give it like a 3 because it could, 30% of this town ends up in the bank. But like overall, it's not going to kill you. It's not going to hunt you down. It's not going to like...
We also don't know what happens to us when we get thrown in the vault.
Right. That's true.
Like, because they say you get someone different. Like, is it still us, but our brains got scrambled around where it's, essentially our personality is different.
See, now something I would like is if they did an interview with somebody who was in the vault.
That'd be cool. Or at least one of the bank tellers.
Yeah, I feel like the bank tellers they're going to act like it's a bank. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, well, this is what happens. They're just going to say like, oh, well, you deposit this and you get interest kind of thing. It's like...
But it'd be funny just have like a interview log where they're just talking casually about depositing your friends and family, or if you deposit your, 10 pounds of dung, you can get this, or something. But I'm trying to think, is that cognito hazard, also the bonus where just any kind of exposure to it, thank God these guys don't run commercials or anything like that. So we had 906 at 3. I think this is a little bit more dangerous than 906, because at the end of the day, 906 you can just take a flamethrower or two, and it can only kill really one person at a time.
Right.
Man, maybe I'll say just a 4, because it's not going to blow up the world. It's not doing super crazy stuff. If there's no one around the bank, it's not going to do anything. I say 4. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, I'd say that sounds about right.
And then suckiness. So how much would suck to be being one of those construction guys, or maybe in our hypothetical research, one of the D classes forced to go rob the bank?
See, I feel like it would kind of suck because you'd constantly be under the thrall of the brain thing. So I imagine the security detail would be tempted to deposit stuff too.
Yeah, if you have a bad trainee or something that forgot to take his brain resistant pills.
In my opinion, that kind of sucks to have to work with that,
Yeah, there's always that fear in the back of your head, dude, if something wrong happens, I can get overtaken. But at least it's not an immediate thing, so one of your employees could probably be like, whoa, Tristan's kind of getting under the influence of the cognito hazard here, let's pull him out, kind of thing.
Right, I wonder how much they have to rotate people.
Yeah, I imagine, they're not running the same guy 7 days, but yeah, I mean, we don't know again about the humanoids, so we don't know if they're, annoying or... They still have to be appealing enough to humans where we'll interact with them, but...
Yeah, I'm not even so much worried about the humanoids as I am just about the thrall of wanting to deposit stuff. That's the part that I think sucks.
I'm sure it's a tinfoil hat they let you wear or something underneath your ball cap.
I'd probably give it a 6.
6?
Because it's not going to kill you, but it still sucks to not really be in control of yourself.
I don't know. I think I could deal with the cognito unless they told me okay, you have the gear or the whatever equipment to deal with it. I just hope the 11 humanoid people aren't annoying, because I'm sure I don't have orders just to kill them, or I can't.
Okay, so here's how I'm gonna rate it. If they have equipment that keeps you from the impulse of depositing stuff, if I don't have that impulse, then I'd say it's a 1. It doesn't really suck that much. Okay. If you don't have that equipment, then I'd say it's a 7.
7? I mean, I'm assuming they have to have equipment that resist it. So I'm gonna say it's probably just 2. Because, it's not a super dangerous thing. And as long as you can...
I feel like the worst thing you'd get is boredom.
I just imagine the humanoid creatures just talk to you about banking options. All they want to do is talk about, just investment. But they're not going to try to kill you or anything.
Right.
So I guess suckiness 2? You just put it at?
Yeah, I'd say it 2.
All right, cool.
So what would you nickname this bank?
Man, I mean, we could just do the whole meme-based thing. We're doing a whole episode. I would say the corpse generator. But I don't know. I kind of see it as kind of just like a roulette wheel. You're essentially just spinning. Whenever you put something in or get something out. So it's kind of the some kind of gambling. I'll give some kind of gambling name maybe the one wheel bandit or something. I just imagine those bank vaults that have the big wheel. I'm just trying to think of nicknames for this, the loot box.
I like that. That's good. I was thinking the bank from hell.
I was thinking of taking the company name and twisting around, so it's the bank of randomness, or
bank
of RNG,
or bank of hell, bank of hell America. Yeah, I like the loot box. I think the loot box is kind of
just a loot box, yeah,
or the loot bank.
The loot bank.
There we go.
Well, actually, yeah, vault's shaped like a box and stuff. So
yeah,
that's how it shows how much my brain is working. I didn't connect a box and a vault usually shaped, relative same shape. Yeah, any other closing comments you want to mention about 375?
No, I think this is kind of a neat one, this is one I feel like I can get enthusiastic about just because there's so many gaps in there. There's a lot of room for speculation, which I feel is what makes a good SCP, the room for growth, but without being overly vague to where it's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much you can add to this. I mean, maybe some interview logs or some minor research stuff, because like I said, the research thing's so random. I mean, someone just wants to get goofy into it.
Right.
That, but I think the interview, them trying to at least talk to the bankers would be kind of neat to see. But yeah, I have a feeling also as SCP, like when we're done, like the next day, it's like, man, I have like 3 more ideas for a movie we could have done. Or
Oh yeah, of course. Like I thought of like interaction ideas, but we can pass that.
yeah.
Because like there's SCP objects, you know, like they might want to store, you know, just like safe objects, like they could put it in here and see what happens.
Oh yeah, I don't think that would fly.
No, of course not. But I mean, like me thinking as a researcher, like I would want to see like, I don't know, isn't there like a ring that like spreads disease or something, or
something?
like what would happen if you gave it in there, you know?
Or I'd use SCP that always like comes back to you no matter what. So like put in the vault, it's like, you know, it should come back to me, and if it's not, it's,
shit, what's that one? 96, the shy guy. What happens if you put him in there?
which one's the shy guy?
The one where you look at his picture or like you see him and he attacks you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like, you know, put him in the bank, show somebody his picture, and see if he can break out of the bank.
Oh, that's true. Probably somewhere there a portal opens from the sky and he comes leaping out of it.
I'm gonna have to edit this around so I can put that segment into the interaction part.
All right, man. So we got the loot box done, and I don't know what the next one's gonna be.
We haven't decided yet.
Well, I think, do you want to do that? I think you mentioned that like a Polaroid camera one that makes takes pictures and shows your deepest desires or something like that.
We could do something like that.
I forgot what the number was.
You had a list, right? Like, let's take a look at the list and see if there's anything like pops out to us.
I don't have that list on me at the moment, to be honest.
I think you texted it to me, so I can probably find it.
Okay.
I want to come up with like some sort of like outro kind of thing, like.
Yeah, I'm not good with that kind of stuff. Like, if you got something, you know, go for it. Maybe I always do the intro. Maybe you always do the outro.
And remember, don't poke any Euclid objects, or I don't know, something smarter than that.
Yeah,
but,
you know, we'll figure something out. All right, man. Looks like we're done here.
All right.
Thank you, Tristan.
And we will see you guys next time.
See y'all later.